Hello and welcome to Allie in Sweatpants. My name is Allie and I am still wearing my very festive Halloween sweatpants because it's Saturday today and Monday is Halloween. So happy Halloween to those who celebrate. As you can see, I have a very special guest today. This is my dog Simon, who has made some vocal appearances on the channel before, but I'm filming from my bed today, and so I thought I would try to get him to come hang out. So hopefully he chills with us and doesn't lick too much or start crying or whatever, but we'll see. So if you've been here before, hello, welcome back. Thanks for coming to hang out with me. I love getting to interact with you guys. And if you're new, a very, very warm welcome to you. I hope that you enjoy. So, boy howdy, do we have a lot to talk about today. We have just so much to talk about, so much that I hadn't even cast on. The last episode that I recorded are either now finished or well on their way. So settle in, get comfy, maybe get a little snack, maybe get a little water, and let's hang out. If you're knitting along with me, I'd love to know what you're knitting on because I am nosy. So let's start with what I'm wearing. This is my AOSTA sweater. It took me a minute to remember. I'm going with no notes again. This is my AOSTA sweater. I knit it this past winter, I want to say. I've talked about it before. I did a few modifications. I knit it on, I think, 1 millimeter smaller than the recommended needle. I'll stand up. I knit it in Knit Picks Shine Worsted in the current colorway, and it is so soft, so beautiful. I love it. It does stretch in length between washes, so, and you know, the neckline kind of does too, so when it starts getting long, I know it's time to put it in the washer. But I love it. This was my honorable mention a couple episodes ago for the summer because I've been wearing it every night to walk Buddy Boy over here. Why don't you lay down? Why don't you lay down, handsome? And it's just been so nice and so beautiful. So it's knit top down with a folded over neckline, single raglan design, and it's beautiful. There's no short row shaping, but I know that, so it's by the Knit Pearl Girl, I should say that, Sophie of the Knit Pearl Girl, and she's working right now on the 2.0 version, which I think is gonna have short rows and some directions for sleeve decreases, because these are like a poofy sleeve, and then I think there was a rapid decrease at the cuff. So yes, I love it very much. And the other knit that I'm wearing are, I hope you can't tell how much fur is on these, are these socks that I knit for myself. These are in Universal Yarns Bamboo Pop sock in the Wildflowers colorway. I used 2.25 millimeter needles, 60 stitches, and I did a 5x1 rib with a German short row heel, and I love them very much. So without further ado, let's get into the bulk of the episode, because like I said, I do have a lot to discuss with you. So first things first, we've seen this before. We've seen it many times. We worked on it for a long time and it is now done and I love it. So this is my completed Modified Road Tripper Tee by OZETTA. Isn't she beautiful? So I've talked about this more in past episodes, but it's modified because I'm using a thicker yarn than recommended in the pattern. I'm using 3.5 and 4.5 millimeter needles, which I'm pretty sure are thicker needles than recommended in the pattern. The pattern is meant to be short sleeves, and I did long sleeves, so it's a full sweater, and I love it so much. So I knit this in Drops Boumel Lin in the 05 colorway, which is just a nice, like, nutty brown. It's knit top down with a single raglan, and you knit the button band while you're knitting the body, but I'm pretty sure actually I'm 100% sure that you pick up the collar at the end. So you don't knit the collar and the button band at the same time as the body, but you do knit the button band. And then I did some decreases for the sleeves. I think I did, let's see, I'm pretty sure I followed the decrease rate of the HANSTHOLM sweater by PETITEKNIT. So I knit up to like here with no decreases, and then I think I decreased every 9 rounds, 2 stitches every 9 rounds. And I love it. My initial plan was to do a folded over hem for the bottom and for the cuffs, but it gave me so much trouble that I, in the end, just decided on this short ribbing, and it's so beautiful. It fits me so beautifully. I couldn't be happier with it, and I'm pretty sure that I knit the second size. So yes, just in time for fall. I feel like a brown knit Henley, could you get any more fall than that? I don't think so. So that's finished object number 1. I'm so proud of myself. This has been on the needles for so long. It was taking up so much brain space, and now it's done and I love it. So my next finished object is a really cute one, and I don't remember the name of the designer off the top of my head, but as usual I will have everything on the screen, and I also link everything in the description below, so you have 2 options. But I knit this little tiny acorn pouch. Isn't it so cute? I knit it in like half a day. It was the best little palette cleanser. It's a little pouch, so see, it's just so sweet. So you knit this part back and forth, obviously, and then you join in the round, and you create an I-cord for this folded over thingamabobby for the I-cord, and it's just so cute, so sweet, so fall. And it was simple. I don't know, I had a little bit of trouble. It's supposed to have an oak leaf, knitted oak leaf for the top of the bag, and I just could not understand the directions for that, so I omitted it, and I still think it's so cute. I knit this in some of my mom's stash yarn. It's the Lion brand. I think it's called Respun. It's the 100% post-consumer recycled polyester yarn, and I don't know the colorways. This is like a oatmeal-y beige, and this is like a chestnut brown shade, and I just think it's so cute. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it, what I'm gonna hold in it, but I just love it, and I've just been staring at it. So this is my other finished object. I have one more finished object that isn't a gift knit, so, and this is part of the Shall We Shawl knit along that my dear friend Martina is hosting from the We Grow Wild podcast, and it is my Grow Shawl by FIBERTALES. I'll try to, I haven't woven in the ends, but it's done. So let's see. Isn't it so pretty? I love it. So this is my third time making this pattern. I made it once for my mom, once for a longtime family friend, and now once for me. And I think what I'm gonna actually do with this is I'm gonna knit it again because I have just about enough yarn to make it in this shade again, and I'm going to sew them together to make a little blanket. I think that's what I would really like to do. So yes, it has these beautiful flower and leaf motifs, and then these beautiful braids that you create along the way. And what I really like about this shawl is you cast on the most amount of stitches that you're ever gonna have, and then every right side row you decrease. So it just gets shorter and shorter and shorter the more that you work on it. And that is so motivating for me. It's the same reason I have trouble with like bottom up sweaters. It's like, I don't know, it's just, it's so motivating to just get less and less and less. So I knit this in the Lion brand Kobu yarn in, I think it's the, I always do this, it's either taupe or mauve, and I never look it up, and I'm sorry because I threw away all the ball bands, but it's super, super soft, has a lot of drape to it. The stitch definition is beautiful, and I'm so happy to have this. So I told you guys, it's been a very productive time between episodes. I have been full swing in my knitting mojo, which has just felt so wonderful. So now we're gonna move on to a work in progress, which is technically a gift knit, but I had to spoil the surprise because I needed her to try it on. As you may or may not know, I have been working on a CUMULS tee, and I've been lying, I'm sorry, and saying that it's mine, but it's always been intended for my mom. So here it is. Isn't she? Oh, she's wrinkled, I'm sorry. I've had it folded, but I finished the body and I did the I-cord bind off, which is so exciting. I've never done an I-cord bind off before, so that was a bit of a learning experience. I did it a little tight, I think, but she tried it on and she likes it, so that's the important part. I'm knitting the 4th size, I believe. It's the CUMULS tee by PETITEKNIT, if I didn't say that. And I'm knitting it in the veganYarn.com fingering base in the Soot Sprites colorway, which reads black, but you can kind of see here when it blows out that it's a bunch of different nuanced colors that from afar make up kind of like a heathered black. I gotta take my socks off, I'm getting really warm. Okay, so yes, I finished the body and I have probably about half a skein left. So the first thing I'm gonna do is pick up for the neck because she expressed that having a bit of a higher V-neck was more of a priority than longer sleeves. So I'm going to do that first, and then whatever I have left I'm going to split into 2 balls and knit the knit the sleeves as long as I can from there, because she said that short sleeves were actually her preferred, what she would prefer for this. So yes, the goal is to have this ready for her by Christmas, and I think that's doable. I don't know how to do the I-cord V-neck, and so it's stopping me from working on it because I know that I have to take the time to look it up and then fiddle with it, and then it'll be fine and I'm sure it'll fly, but it's always that step where I have to look something up that keeps me from working on it. I just realized I haven't been saying the content of any of the yarns. So the veganyarn.com's fingering base is just about 50% organic cotton and bamboo. The Lion Brand Kobu yarn is also about a 50% cotton bamboo blend. This I said was the 100% recycled polyester. And the Drops Boumol Lin is about a 50-50 of cotton and linen. So there you go. Okay. So I have a couple more works in progress that aren't technically, well, this one is a gift knit, but the person obviously will never watch this, so I don't have to put it in the gift knitting section. But I have half finished a pair of socks, and are you seeing how ridiculously long that sock is? Like, so my boyfriend is out of town until December on a job, and he took all of his hand knitted socks with him, and he is renting a house with 2 of his coworkers right now, and one of them showed a lot of interest in a pair of socks. And so my boyfriend asked if that's something that I would be willing to do, and I asked a few questions, and my boyfriend said that the person is willing to pay, and I said I don't really want payment. I would so much rather you guys work out something personally or professionally to make your life a little bit easier for as long as it takes me to make him these socks. So I feel very satisfied with that deal. So I have one done. It's just a shorty like I was doing for my boyfriend. It's 2.5 millimeter needles. I cast on 56 stitches for the cuff, and then I did 2.5 centimeters of 5x1 rib for the leg. I did a slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset, and then I just continued the 5x1 ribbing on the top of the foot and down through the toe. So I have one done, and I have just finished the heel decreases on the second. So now I am just working that long foot again. This has sort of taken a bit of a back burner because my mom and I have a trip coming up to Portland, and so I'm going to take this for plain knitting and whatnot. So, and my boyfriend's coming home for Thanksgiving, and so as long as I have these done for him to take back to work with him after Thanksgiving, then it's fine, and that's definitely enough time to finish this. So yes, these are knit on the Bamboo Pop Sock Solids colorway, and I think it's called Foam. I think that they have like a bright white, and then they have this white, so it's slightly creamy. And this is I think mostly cotton, some bamboo, and then like 8% PBT. So there's a very low synthetic content in this sock yarn, but they hold up so well. So yes. And then last thing before the gift knitting section is something for moi. And it is an OSLO beanie by PETITEKNIT. I am making this out of very, very special yarn to me. This yarn was sent to me from Martina from the We Grow Wild podcast. We did a yarn swap, and this was one of the yarns that she sent me. It's from, let's see here, Lanes du Nord, and it's a 100% organic cotton in the 02 colorway. So, and it's just the most beautiful, slightly grayed, it's a bit pinker in real life than it's showing up on camera, but I just am such a sucker for this slightly grayed out baby pink. And I think I've said before, I think that's because when I was a kid I had a blankie that was this color, so I'm so excited. It's so soft and wonderful, and I'm super excited. So the pattern calls for 2 strands of fingering weight held together, and I decided just to hold one strand together because I didn't have enough of this to double it, and I think it's going to be totally beautiful for what I need it. So I have, you know, probably that much more to go in stockinette before the decreases, and then it's done in time for my trip to Portland. So I'm very, very excited for this. I love the Oslo beanies. I find them mindless in the best possible way, in the same way that I find socks mindless, but even more so because there's just like basically the only tricky, and it's not even that tricky, but the only tricky thing is creating the folded over brim. But if you've done a folded over neckline, you've got it. So I very much recommend this pattern, and one of these will be another thing that I bring for my travel knitting. So yes, Martina, thank you so much for this yarn. I'm loving working with it. I'm thinking of you as I work with it, and it's very, very special to me. Thank you. So that is all for the normal knitting. We are now going into gift knitting. So friends and family, you know the drill. Timestamp here, and please skip to that if you want to continue watching the rest of the episode. And for those of you who are not friends and family and are allowed to stay, here we go. So thank you, friends, family. Love you. Bye. So we got a lot going on in the gift knitting section. I am really preparing for Christmas. So the first thing that I will talk about are these Sunday socks by PETITEKNIT. They are a worsted weight sock pattern, and I really enjoyed making these. So you knit them on a 4mm needle, and they work up very quickly. It has a, you know, drop heel flapping gusset, and it has 2x2 ribbing on the top of the foot, and I decided to do a contrasting heel and toe. So here we are, here's both of them. These are going to be for my boyfriend's dad for Christmas as some cozy house socks, and I used the Lion brand respun 100% recycled polyester yarn again. I think it's going to hold up really well as house socks. I think it's going to be durable, easy to take care of. He can wash them, he can dry them, doesn't have to worry about shrinking or anything like that. So this is my first gift knit. I hope he likes them. I think they're going to be really comfortable house socks. So there's that. The next is another pair of socks, and these are for my mom. She's like in the other part of the house, so I don't know if she can hear, but these are for my mom. And I knit totally inspired by Martina. I knit like it's longer and then I folded it. So there are these cozy cuffed socks, and I knit them in the Regia cotton sock in the Tutti Frutti color range in the Grapes colorway, and I used 2.5mm needles and 60 stitches, and I did the slip stitch heel flapping gusset again. And I really like them. I think that they turned out really, really cute, and I think she's going to really like them. So here they are. I'm really liking the heel flapping gusset. I don't particularly enjoy doing it, and it's not mindless yet. Like, I don't have the numbers memorized for the turn part after the heel flap, but it fits so well for me, so it's worth it. The next, oh, I have to look up the name for these because they're so beautiful. They're They're mittens by FIBERTALES. I want to say the HIEDRA mittens. Let's see. Oh, it's on my phone. I'm pretty sure they're called the HIEDRA mittens. And they're so, oh, they're so beautiful. So let me kind of, oh, you okay? You okay? You good boy. So they have the same motif as the Grow shawl. Ooh. Okay. Where they have this beautiful leaf motif running up the middle, and then these braids that you create at the end. And then along the edges are garter stitch, which is actually supposed to be along the palm of the mitt as well. But I decided just to go with stockinette for the palm. Let me put one on and show you, why not? So here it is. I think it's so pretty. And these are for my boyfriend. So the purpose of these, the reason that's so long is you can fold it down to make them like functional fingerless gloves, or you can have it up to cover your fingers so that they're not so cold. So these are for my boyfriend for when he has overnight jobs, which he does every once in a while. And I literally knit this one in a day, and then I knit this one the next day. They worked up so quickly. I used leftover yarn that I had from the HANSTHOLM sweater that I knit for my uncle. It's Lion Brand Pima Cotton in the pewter colorway, and one mitten used like maybe half a ball of yarn. So I have more than enough to make another set of mittens, which I might for myself. But again, I think these are knit on 4mm needles. They work up so quickly. They were such a pleasure to make. Loved it. I watched the series on Netflix called The Vatican Girl, which if you're into true crime and you've watched that, let me know, because holy guacamole, twists and turns and Vatican drama, am I right? But yeah, so I just threw that on and I whipped these out, and it was a pleasure. So these will be for him for Christmas, and I'm very excited to give them to him. It's so hard to knit him things for Christmas, and when we FaceTime in the evenings when he's done with work, not be like, look what I've been working on, and look what I've been working on, and look what I've been working on, because obviously then it wouldn't be a surprise. So I get to do that with you guys. Look what I've been working on. Aren't they so pretty? So, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. You can't see now, let me see. Oh dear, oh dear. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That was a bad idea. That was a bad idea. Okay. I think we're back. Okay. So next is another OSLO beanie, and this one is for my dad. It's just a black beanie. So I did knit this one in 2 strands. I knit this in 2 strands of Universal Yarns Bamboo Pop Sock in the black colorway, which is either called like Graphite or Nocturne. It's not called black, but it is black. And I think he's really gonna love it. I knit him a black beanie last year for Christmas, but it was in a single strand of DK, and it's kind of like there's space between the stitches, so it's not particularly warm. So he was hinting that he would really like a thicker, warmer beanie for Christmas, and I was like, don't worry, Dad, I've already got plans. So this is his done. I was watching an old episode of A Homespun House, Molly, and she was talking about how she hates on the top of beanies where you string the yarn through the remaining stitches and pull it tight. She hates how over time that hole kind of becomes bigger and bigger, and that's something that I have noticed as well. And so she was talking about how she was going to do a Kitchener stitch on the top of her hat, and that's what I did, and I love it. I thought it was going to give the hat kind of a weird shape, but it does not at all. And so I think that's what I'm going to do from now on at the top of beanies, because it totally negates that whole issue of, you know, making sure you pull it tight enough and then making sure you fasten it tight enough, and then it just inevitably growing bigger and bigger over time. So this, you don't have that issue. So Oslo beanie. And as if it were deja vu or something, another Oslo beanie. I think this one looks so good. This looks like store-bought or something to me. So again, Oslo beanie by PETITEKNIT. This is for my boyfriend's brother for Christmas. I did it in one strand of the baby organic cotton from Hobby in just this like beautiful mid-gray colorway. I think for all of these I am knitting the second or third size. I knit my boyfriend one last spring, and I knit the second to largest, and it was pretty big, so I'm making one size down from that. And I think it's gonna be really, really great, and I think his brother's gonna really, really love this hat. So, and I have enough of this to make another in this exact same color, and so my plan was to make one for my boyfriend for Christmas, but I'm sneakily gonna have him try this one on and see if this one size smaller still fits him well, and then go from there, because I didn't want to make him, you know, a smaller size and then have it not fit. So another Oslo beanie. Okay, moving on from the Oslo beanies, we have another sock for my mom. So this is a free pattern on Ravelry. Sometimes it's hard to show the texture in this yarn, but it's called the Biscuit socks, and it's like an occasional purl bump in the stockinette offset. So I think it's an 8-row repeat, and I did it with a German short row heel. And this is the Universal Yarns Bamboo Pop sock in, I don't know, I'm sorry, I throw away these labels. Purple, it's a purple, it might be the only purple shade that they have. So yeah, this has also taken a bit of a back burner, but I'm very excited to have these done for her. So this is the first one, and 60 stitches, 2.5 millimeter needles. Thoroughly enjoying it. Okay, last two projects, and they're big ones. So I've shown this one before. This is the HANSTHOLM sweater by PETITEKNIT for my boyfriend. I'm making the third size, and last time I showed this, I think I had just about split for the sleeves. Look at where I am now. Quite a lot of progress, if I do say so myself. So first and foremost, this is knit in the Lion Brand Touch of Linen. I actually saved the label so I could tell you the colorway. Touch of Linen in the Cypress colorway. So the content of this is 51% cotton and 49% linen. I love a cotton linen blend. So it's this beautiful, like, forest green. When the sun hits it directly, it looks the most green, and then in different lightings it can look gray, it can look almost black, it can look a little bit brownish like it's reading now on the camera, but it's just beautiful. It's a top-down single raglan construction, folded neckline. There are decreases in the sleeves. I'm ready to start the ribbing on the body, and then I'll do the second sleeve and it'll be done. I've been using my dad as a body model for sizing, but I think I'm gonna leave my ends unwoven and wrap it anyways, and so for Christmas, he can try it on, and if it's perfect, then I'll just quickly weave in the ends, and if it needs more length or less length, then I will modify it then. So yeah, lots of progress. I'm really, I want to say I'm really enjoying this knit, but I'm kind of hitting a point where it's become a bit of a slog, and I think that's just because of the body. It's just so many stitches on stockinette. I started putting little progress markers so I could see myself making progress, and that helped a lot. So just the ribbing to go on the body, and then I think the sleeve is gonna fly, and then it'll be done, which is so very, very exciting. I love this pattern. It's my second time knitting it. I think it's a beautiful, classic, staple sweater. I'm probably gonna make one for myself just because I think the fit is so beautiful. So yes, handsome sweater for my handsome boyfriend. So last but certainly not least is one that I just started, and I'm using the most beautiful yarn bowl that my boyfriend's mom got me for Christmas last Christmas, I think, and look at how perfectly it holds a cake of worsted weight yarn. So I'm knitting the Friday Slipover by PETITEKNIT for my boyfriend for Christmas. Now it looks small because the edges are rolling in, but I think it will fit very nicely. So it's a broken rib vest slipover. You knit the back and then you knit the front, and then I'm assuming next I join in the round after I do all the increases. It's working up very quickly. It's a little bit hard on my hands, the broken rib knit flat, but it's okay. I am using the veganyarn.com worsted base in the Fern colorway, which is a beautiful nuanced green, which is about a 50-50 blend of organic cotton and bamboo. And I've had this in my stash for like a year and a half probably, so 'tis a stash buster. And I'm very excited. I am excited to wear it, to be completely honest. And my parents are like, it's not for you. And I'm like, that's the perk of having a partner the same size as you, is you get to wear the things that you make for them. So yes, the Friday Slipover by PETITEKNIT. I'm really enjoying this. I think I'm gonna enjoy it even more when I join it in the round. And yes, I've made my boyfriend a sweater out of this yarn before, and it did shrink in length quite substantially. It became a cropped sweater, and so now it's fine. And so I have to remember for this one to make it a bit longer than the perfect length, just to account for that shrinkage. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this. I've never made a vest before. I've never had a vest before, so there's a lot of new kind of construction and techniques that are going into this, and I'm really enjoying it. I love how the increases look in the broken rib. You can see it here on the neck too. I think it's just such a pretty and simple detail that makes it look so smooth and refined. So yeah. So let's go into some knitting plans, shall we? I do have a couple. Oh, I should say, I do still have my ranunculus on the needles. I haven't worked on it at all. I haven't touched it at all because I've been so focused on my gift knitting. No spoilers, no spoilers. I've been so focused on my gift knitting that I've kind of put my personal knitting on the back burner after I finished, you know, my Henley and my shawl. So it's still on the needles. I did consider ripping it out because the sizing is stressing me out a little bit, knowing whether or not it's gonna work on such a small gauge that it's not really intended for. But I looked at it and I decided that it's really beautiful and I don't want to rip it out. Come on, behave. So it's just chilling, and my magic toadstool socks are also just chilling. So I do still have those, I haven't worked on them since the last episode. So knitting plans. I have, like I said, another Oslo hat planned, and I'm going to use this yarn. It is the new Arezzo by Hobby. It's 33% linen, 47% bamboo, and 20% cotton in this green color. I'm going to make another Oslo hat out of this. And then I'm going to make a sweater for my dad out of this black yarn. It's the recycled yarn from We Are Knitters, which is 95% recycled cotton and 5% other. Again, I've had this in my stash for so long, since way before the Zara Man scandal. And at first I intended it for my boyfriend, but then I was like, this is perfect for my dad. So him and I have been going back and forth on what kind of pattern he wants, if he even wants one. And finally he came back and said he wanted a sweater with a shawl collar, which I never would have pinned my dad for a shawl collar kind of guy, but I guess he is. And I think the pattern that I want to make is the Arkansas River sweater. I'll put a picture. It has color work, but I'm just going to do one single color. But it has that shawl collar and he approved it. It's knit bottom up. It's not a raglan, so there's going to be back and forth knitting. But if I can make him something that he loves and will wear, then I will do it. It's a win for me. So yeah. That's everything. That is everything that I have on the needles, off the needles recently. Those are a few of my plans coming up, and yeah, I so appreciate you spending this time with me. I hope that you found a little bit of inspiration or a little bit of doggy cuteness, or just got to hang out for 43 minutes. So yeah, that's all for this time. And if you'd like to leave me a comment, I love getting to respond to them. I so appreciate everyone who watches and likes and comments and subscribes. It feels like I have a community of knitting friends now, which was my goal with this channel. So I'm just so grateful. Thank you from the bottom, top, middle, inner, outer, all of my heart. Thank you. So that's it, and I will be back when I have more to talk about. Bye.